Call the meeting to order. This is the December meeting of ANC 3F. I'm Malachi Nugent, Commissioner, the Chairman and the Commissioner for ANC 3F 06. We'll do a quick roll call to establish quorum. Commissioner Dickinson, why don't you start?
Sure. Good evening, everyone, and happy holidays and all the holidays, including Christmas.
Just introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were doing...
No, we're still establishing quorum.
Well, now that everybody knows my spiel. David Dickinson, ANC 3F01.
Mary Beth Ray, 3F3.
Sally Gresham, 3F04.
Shirley Adelstein, 3F2.
Pat Chakopchik, 3F07.
Andrea Molad, 3F05.
Okay, thank you. So the agenda was circulated. We don't have a consent agenda to approve this month, so everything is just on the regular agenda. So make a motion to approve the agenda. First we'll have a discussion. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Sorry, Chairman. We do have two other resolutions. I don't know where you want to put those on the agenda, but
We'll take that up in other business.
okay.
So there's the resolution for Albemarle 32nd Street.
This was circulated before that, so we need to add.
Yes, I would like to add the resolution for Albemarle 32nd Street repair and improvements.
What?
A resolution
For Albemarle and 32nd Street repair and improvements.
We'll put that in place of the presentation on Rock Creek Park Horse Center maintenance proposal.
Number 7. Is that gone?
Frank Young is not able to be here tonight to make the presentation on Rock Creek Park. So I'm going to ask Commissioner Ray just to speak about that quickly, maybe during announcements even. It doesn't matter, or do you need more time?
No, that's fine.
That's fine. So we'll take that off of the agenda. And add the resolution for Albemarle and 32nd Street repair and improvement. Anything else? Pat, you have the resolution on the River Smart?
I do not have a resolution.
Are you going to talk about that?
No, I'm not.
So we'll take that off as well.
In other business, item A, we don't have. Where?
We don't have October or November?
Correct.
Right. Short meeting tonight. Okay, so the agenda as it now stands will have the grant for the Wilson High School PTSO, resolution for Albemarle 32nd Street repair and improvement, resolution on politics and pro settlement agreement, and then other business.
Wait, so we moved the politics and pros down?
We didn't move it anywhere.
We just added.
Do we keep the grant?
We kept the grant.
Number 6? Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have
You said it's a different
Yeah,
tab,
different
so,
order.
yeah.
Sorry. So politics and pros and the grant. Okay, that's fine. That works fine. Okay,
Second.
all in favor of the agenda as amended?
Aye.
It passes 7-0-0. Okay, we'll move to commissioner announcements. Now, Commissioner Dickinson.
Well, I've been instructed to always keep these brief, Chair Nugent, so I shall do so. I've got 4 items. First, with regard to Hearst Park, Ms. Jackie Stanley from DGS had hoped to attend this evening and give a brief update on the park planning, including the relatively recent completion of the survey, the public survey. She is sick this evening and sends her regrets. But nevertheless, the survey was completed. They're looking to hold a meeting on a date to be determined in January. I'm assuming that they'll give an update both on any hydrology, stormwater, geology type survey issues that they've been attending to at the park, and also to provide an update on the survey. So stay tuned for when that meeting shall take place in January. Second item is Sidwell School. Some of you here last month at our ANC meeting heard Ms. Kate Lindsay give an update on the purchase of the Washington home. They have indeed closed on that. I think it was like a week or so ago. They are leasing that back to the Washington home for 1 year for $1, with the idea of letting the Washington home transition its residents and I think set up a hospice care place somewhere, not at the Washington home, but somewhere else. Sidwell has also purchased one of the 3 Fannie Mae properties you may have read about in our local Northwest Current and elsewhere. So there are 3 properties associated with Fannie Mae that I'm aware of. One is across the street from Sidwell on the west side, just south of 4000, Wisconsin. That was purchased by I'm just going to look at my note here, by Roadside Development, and a representative, I think their CEO is a gentleman named Mr. Richard Lake. He was at the ANC 3 meeting a week or so ago. I was there as well. He had, ANC 3C. C. He introduced himself there. The property across the street from Sidwell is in 3C. I'm going to be paying attention to that property development since it abuts my single-member district. He can be reached, and he's got a splash website that he's going to develop. And if anybody has ideas for that development, that website is still being developed, but he is at R, as in Richard Lake, at roadsidellc.com. He's a nice guy, and I look forward to working with him, and I'm sure 3C does as well. There was an additional Fannie Mae property next to the UDC campus. I'm aware that it was purchased, but I don't have any other details with regard to that. At least I don't personally.
Right?
Sorry?
AU has that, right?
No.
No, it's Josh Bernstein.
Oh, that's right, first.
And I think I may have mentioned that the third property is actually between Sidwell and the post office. The post office is at Wisconsin and Upton. So it's sort of in that area on the east side of Wisconsin, and that's part of Sidwell's strategic plan going forward to figure out how to use that property. Lastly, UDC will be holding its quarterly meeting. I don't think Ms. Brousseau is here this evening. Its quarterly community meeting on January 11th at 6:30. That's on the UDC campus, Building 44, Room A03. And the agenda items for that will include the 2018 budget for UDC. I'm not sure what level of detail that is, and just a review of community events associated with UDC. Thank you.
All right.
Let's see, so I have 6 announcements. First of all, we heard from the Kuwait Embassy the last time we met, and the Board of Zoning is rescheduling the hearing for that case from January 25th to February 8th. They didn't have a quorum of board members for the January meeting, and that's why it got bumped to February. No other news to report. That's the security guard station at the Kuwait ambassador's residence. Second, hopefully we'll hear from Teresa Cameron from Van Ness Main Street in a minute, but I just want to thank Teresa and the organizers and the volunteers. I know many people in this room were there and did some of their holiday shopping. We had, over 2 days, we had 2,400 attendees, and the vendors made over $20,000 plus the Dog and Cat Rescue Association made $1,200. I want to thank, yes, it's really awesome. In addition to Teresa, I want to thank Stacy Price, Deepa Mehta, and most importantly, the University of the District of Columbia for lending us the space, which was awesome. And I also want to thank our board member, Chuck Schulke, who wore a very fetching red and white suit. The third announcement is we had talked about an ANC project supporting Van Ness Main Street effort for wayfinding and public art. And a design was circulated, and there just was not a whole lot of wildly enthusiastic support for that project. So I think probably the best thing to do is to just sit down together and roll up our sleeves and make sure that what we come up with in the future has everybody's buy-in, something that we can all be proud of. And so the date that we're looking at is January 28th, which is a Saturday, from 10 to 12. So I ask all the ANC commissioners and Van Ness Main Street board members to put that on your calendar. A former colleague of Teresa's, who has done these wayfinding and public art projects, will be there, and she'll have some slides to show us the art of possible. Not that we're bound by what's been done in the past, but just to kind of get the creative juices going. So if everybody can make that.
What time again is that?
10 to 12, and it will be at the Van Ness Main Street office. Fourth announcement is that Ryan Hand, our contact for Ward 3 in the Office of Planning, has been promoted to Senior Economic Development Planner at the Office of Planning. So congratulations to Ryan. For now, Tracy Gabriel, his boss, is our contact, and he will keep us posted when his replacement has been named. Fifth, we were supposed to have a presentation tonight by Frank Young of Rock Creek Park, and unfortunately, he came and went and said that he didn't have enough time to stay and make the presentation. So I'm going to hand these out and just go through a few of the highlights. There have been two, Rachel, can you get this?